up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below, that would be greatly appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you could be notified when we put out new content, that would be appreciated also. And I also just recently started a Facebook page for the program, so I'm sure if you just search Inside the Vinyl, that should come up. If you could give us a like or a follow there too, that would be awesome. And I may have some other things like Instagram or whatever coming down the line. That remains to be seen. But today is a special day because I'm probably going to be doing 2 unboxings today, but I only have one that I can do right now. And this is a special like Walmart only edition. Not only the type of vinyl that it is, but I think the release as a whole is just from Walmart. And that would be the brand new Def Leppard Greatest Hits compilation. So, just for shits and giggles, let me just say this. Walmarts are very hit or miss. Now, this is a Walmart only release. However, it was very difficult today to find a Walmart that actually had it in stock. I had to go across the river in Jacksonville over to a couple of stores over there to find one. The first one I went to, it said it had it in stock, but I may have been talking to the dumbest human being on the planet who couldn't fathom what I was asking for, much less, simply checking the computer to see if it was there. So I got frustrated and left. I went to a Walmart, an older Walmart. That was one of the newest Walmarts too. It's kind of surprising that, they just didn't have a clue what I was asking for, or even had to even search for anything. But anyway, I go to a Walmart not too far away, but in a much dicier area of town, and find it there right away. Now, I understand this album may not be Walmart, only or not, might not be top on anybody's priority list, but it's also Sabrina Carpenter Day. So I would think, like stocking records would be something that would happen as a priority today, giving, that it's a major release date for some other things. But anyway, I got it. I'm happy. And I wanted to go ahead and open this up here. So with all that being said, here we go. Def Leppard Greatest Hits. Very basic cover, just the logo and the Greatest Hits at the bottom. There's a little bit of texture, almost like a leathery, I don't know, not really so much texture, but it kind of looks almost like, like you're looking at something like kind of leathery or something underneath. But anyway, front cover again, back cover, and this is the exclusive 10-track Greatest Hits on orange and yellow vinyl, only at Walmart. So let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. Now, I'm not expecting a whole lot outside of the orange and yellow vinyl, because I know a lot of these, record labels are putting together greatest hits, that are kind of, I wouldn't say this one's really cheap by any means, but on the cheaper side. So, you don't get as many bells and whistles on the inside with like inner sleeves and all that. But this one was still about $30. I mean, I wouldn't say it was, on the cheap by any means. There's a little bit in the corner there, which bums me out. But anyway. All right, there we go without the cellophane. Def Leppard, Greatest Hits, front cover, back cover. And this is just a 10-track Greatest Hits. And just like I thought, not much going on inside as far as the inner sleeve and all that is concerned. Just this, it is anti-static, but I mean, there's nothing, there's no graphics or visuals or pictures or anything on it. But if we take out the record, we do see something really fancy. Check out that orange and yellow vinyl. That's very Pyromania, folks. And of course, just in the middle, just basic Def Leppard with the track listing. Yeah, I will say, as minimal as it is, I really like this cover with just that logo, that black cover with just the Def Leppard logo and the Greatest Hits thing on it. So I think that's like really, really cool. And I also like how one side of this is way more orange and the other side of this is more yellow. So that's kind of cool, nice little contrast there. I don't know if contrast is the right word, but let me just double check. Nothing else in there. So that's basically it for the vinyl. So I knew this wasn't going to be that fancy as far as the actual, overall packaging. Let me get that. Yeah. Because again, a lot of labels, like Rhino puts out the Now Playing series. I think Universal is starting to do a lot of this. I know those Icon records, they have a bunch of those. But I know there's a Kool in the Gang record that looks pretty similar to this as far as just the way it's being marketed and just kind of what it is, like a pretty basic greatest hit set. So, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Now, like I said, this wasn't really, I wouldn't say this was cheap. This was like $30, but still pretty cool. And again, not a record that I needed at all. I have Vault. I also have the Story So Far. I have both volumes 1 and 2. So the last thing I needed was another Def Leppard Greatest Hits. However, I am a collector and I've been a fan of this band since I was 7. So they could pretty much fart on tape and put it on vinyl, and I'm going to go out and buy it. So, but that being said, let's just talk about some of the tunes on here. So there's only 10 songs. So it's real basic, certainly not career spanning, and doesn't even probably only really covered maybe half to 2/3 of their hits, maybe. But you start off with Pour Some Sugar on Me, of course, and most of this album is made up. This album is pretty much made up of Hysteria, then Pyromania, and then High and Dry, and then random song from Vault, which that's the one I don't really understand. So started off with Pour Some Sugar on Me, then he goes into Hysteria, then Photograph, Love Bites, Animal. All right, so far so good. Second side, Rock of Ages, When Love and Hate Collide, and we'll come back to that. Bringing on the Heartbreak, Foolin', and Armageddon It. So decent little 10 song set. Again, mostly made up of Pyromania and Hysteria. One song from High and Dry in there. And the one that I don't really understand, if you're going to have a minimal greatest hits, I would think you would put all, the 10 biggest hits on here. So I don't know where Love and Hate Collide falls in, because not that it's not a good song. I do like the song, but it was not a hit in America. It wasn't. I mean, I'm sorry. It came out on the Vault album, which was a big seller on its own. But that song itself is not really like a big hit. That's not a song that the average fan of hits knows. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, you had all that stuff from Adrenalize. I mean, there was there's easily 4 or 5 top 40 hits from that album, including like Let's Get Rocked or Heaven Is or Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad, or just something else that could have been on here instead of When Love and Hate Collide. And again, I'm not hating on it. I like that song. I just don't know that it's really that much of a hit. So that's a little strange for me. So this is a little bit twofold. I was able to do an unboxing on this, but also kind of comment. It overlaps with my new greatest hit series that I'm starting now. So, but again, decent little set here. I don't know if it's going to be a wider release at some point. I don't see it on streaming. I don't see it at any other location. And everything I read, not just the orange and yellow, but the entire release as a whole is just like a limited edition Walmart thing. So, you either have to get it at Walmart, like if you can find a store that has it, or order it online or whatever. But still a cool little set for somebody like me that didn't need this, but collects. I'm pretty stoked to have it. And again, I really like that cover. I love minimal stuff like this. Like even t-shirts, like when you get like a band's t-shirt, I love just a black t-shirt with just a band logo on it or something like that, just something really cool. Like this to me is a little too much. Like I would like it just with the Def Leppard logo, like either that or like the one on the back here. It's really cool. So I'm going to stop rambling. I've got another unboxing to do a little bit later for all you Deep Purple fans, so check that out. But that's all I've got for you this time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new content. Also, check out my Facebook page. It's just under the Inside the Vinyl moniker, so I don't know how that works, if that's facebook.com/Inside the Vinyl, or if you just search for Inside the Vinyl, you should find it. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow there too. I'm going to start posting more things there. But in addition, I've got the rest of my Unboxing the Vinyl series, where we open up new records, we open up reissues, we open up compilations, we open up box sets. Sometimes they're CDs instead of records. It just depends on what's coming out. I've also got my new Greatest Hits series, which this kind of falls into, where we talk about Greatest Hits albums and the good and bad. Some are great, some kind of leave you scratching your head a little bit. This one's a little bit of both. So check those out. I've got my live album series, where we talk about live albums from the 70s, 80s, and beyond. I've got my Lost Classic series, where I talk about albums that I love that maybe not everybody's aware of. Maybe albums that got swept under the rug or didn't sell well or have just been forgotten over time that I think everyone should hear. Check those out. I've got some live coverage from some various concerts and festivals and stuff over the last several years. And I've even got a couple of short documentary style films that I did for school. They're very short, like 7 to 13 minutes or 8, something like that. One is about a local disc golfer friend of mine, and the other is about the fire that took away our other home. That I'm happy to report we have walls, we have drywall, so we're making progress, and hopefully somewhere in the next maybe 4 or 5 months we'll be back over there. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out the Facebook, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.